as we see that dollar continue to slide, do you see the Fed stepping in and saying, hey, here's a digital coin, a digital dollar? Because we know that that's coming. We know that some type of, what's the acronym? The federal digital currencies?
CBDC, central bank
CBDC,
digital currency.
yeah.
Yes. So we know that they're developing them. We know that they're testing them in multiple countries. Sweden, like tons of European countries have already
China's
tried
fully
this.
implemented.
Right. So do we see like the value of the dollar going down? I guess this is where I get into my nerdy questions with you, Mark. Does the dollar keep going down and then they step in and say, hey, we're going to save the dollar, turn in your dollars. Here's this Fed coin. Enjoy. We're going to keep you safe and happy this way. Oh, you crossed the street wrong. Give me a little bit of money though. You know what I mean? Is that where we're headed?
I don't think that's the catalyst for it. So you mentioned the dollar going down. So like the Dixie, the DXY, the dollar index, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what people have been information has been purposely withheld from people and even been lied to about money. So nobody has any idea about this. So what they've done, back to the NLP, is they've dumbed us down. So we're very easily susceptible to hypnosis.
For sure.
And I know hypnosis sounds like a weird word. I'm not talking about being told to quack like a duck, but they've dumbed us down.
Subconscious programming.
Right. So in regards to money, the Dixie, the DXY, right, that's the dollar's strength compared to a basket of other currencies. Okay. But those other currencies, that's fiat. What really matters, and most people don't pick this up, what really matters is purchasing power.
Right.
That's what matters, purchasing power. So back to the week example, right? So you're making more dollars per hour today than you were in the 23 weeks example. But the purchasing power of those dollars has fallen so far I can't live anymore.
Right.
So to your example, it doesn't really matter where the Dixie's at, because whether it's at 60 or whether it's at 100, because that's only measuring its strength to other fiat currencies.
Right.
What really matters is its purchasing power. Does that make sense?
So no, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah. So the central bank rolling out a digital currency, a CBDC, I don't see that as being like, hey, the currency's failed. Here, try this instead. I don't think people will accept that because it's fake money.
Right.
So they're gonna roll that out regardless of where the Dixie's at, right? So I would imagine they're working on it as fast as they possibly can. And we know that in the stimulus bill, they already put in the first stimulus bill that was stuffed full of pork. Pork is what we call that extra garbage they put in there. They already put in a bill where the banks have to have the ability to give digital wallets out to people. So they'll start using that to give out stimulus. So, hey, you want the next round of stimulus? Download your wallet, and then we'll just put the money right in there. So I think it's going to be more about a way they're going to get money directly to the people. That's going to be the benefit. Hey, it's going to take you 6 weeks of paperwork to get the stimulus, or download the app and we'll give it to you right now. So probably a little bit of more of a carrot approach. That's what they did in China. They rolled it out October 12th. So probably be a little bit more like that, be my opinion.
Do you think that is a step towards more control overall, though, is this Fed coin? And does that ever replace dollars? Or do you see us having Bitcoin, Fed coins, and dollars all at once at some point?
Well, 100% is for control. I mean, money is always about control for sure.
Right,
and a digital currency is the best way that they could ever control people. Because as we said, like, money is power, right? And so if I can control that, so I think it's a move to power. Now, 90% of all transactions are already digital.
Right.
I mean, I hardly ever deal with cash. I use my debit cards and my credit cards and wire, right? So like, I almost hardly never deal with cash anymore. So it's already digital money, but the central bank digital money is different because it's programmable, right? And so that's different, and that's why they want to do that to control us. But it's also even worse than that. So right now, if you understand the way money is, when I say money, when I talk about currency, dollars are created. They're created through debt. We're in a debt-based economy. So what that means is we're in like this fractional reserve banking system. So I deposit my money in the bank, and then they loan it back out. But when they loan it out, they create new money. So the way it works is, people say the central bank's printing money. Well, the central bank doesn't really print money. What they do is they give reserves to the commercial banks. And then those commercial banks create loans off of those reserves. So the Fed gives them $1. Now they can make $10 worth of loans. That $10 now is debt, but it's money in the system.
But it just came out of nowhere too.
It just came out of nowhere. But the banking system, this is an important piece. The banking system is a little bit decentralized. So like in my town, I have like local farmers and merchants banks. I have like local community banks. And then we got the Wells Fargo's, the Bank of Americas. And then we have like more international banks, right? And then you have central banks. So there's like all these levels of banks. And so like my local community bank, I go over there and like, hey, I want to launch a avocado business. And he's like, avocados aren't going to grow here. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. I'm not loaning you money. Or they could say, actually, avocados are hot here. I think that, right? So they know me. They know the area. It's like a local decision if they want to give that loan or not.
Sure.
Right? That's an important piece. He knows me. He knows my business. He decides. My local banker decides if they want to create that money or not.
Right.
What they want to do is they want to roll that up. So we have me, the local bank, the national bank, the international bank, the central bank, the government, and then the IMF. If the IMF rolls out their central bank digital currency, I can have a wallet with the IMF. The IMF can send Mark money directly and just compress the whole stack.
Wow. What would that do for the federal government? Like, why would the federal government want that? Why would all these central banks? That. Right. That's what I'm saying. They would never want that, right?
Well, they won't, but the bankers do.
Interesting.
The bankers do. Who controls the thing? The one that makes the law is the one who controls the money.
The money, right? So
it's a takeover. The bankers are taking over the world. In 2030, you'll own nothing. Who owns it?
The banks.
Then.
Right. Interesting.
The bankers own the world.
Right. With that idea of programmable money, Mark, can you give me a little bit more context to that? Because I've seen it on a couple of your videos. I know you were talking recently to a couple of your interviewees with that. What is programmable money? Is it that central bank coin? Is that specifically what you're referring to?
Well, it's basically everything, and we probably can only barely scratch the surface of where it goes. But for example, when they gave the stimulus out in the summer, the whole point of giving the stimulus was to have people go spend it.
Right.
To stimulate the economy. But what people did is they saved it.
Yeah.
Or they invested it into Robinhood. So like that's not what they wanted, right? So they can program it and they can say, hey, here's your $1,200, Austin, but whatever you don't spend by the end of the week comes back to me. Now they can, or you can spend it here. You can't put it on Robinhood. You can't use it here, but you can use it here, right? So they can program how it's used, but then it gets even worse and scarier from there, because then it gets into like behavioral finance. So for example, hey, Austin, you're not saving enough money. So here's 5% interest on all the money that you save. Hey, Mark, you're hoarding way too much money. You have a negative 5% rate on your money.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Could you imagine that?
You're a minority. You're black. We need to, so now you get this extra treatment. And everybody gets treated differently based off of whatever policies they're trying to promote. Now, of course, all this is pushed in the name of equality, but this is the most
inequality. Yeah, absolutely.
And so they could look at minority groups and ethnic groups and all this, intersectionality that, divided, like we were talking the other day about whoever's the most oppressed, right? We were talking about that, I think, right? Whoever's the most oppressed, they get extra treatment. And then, white males get,
nothing
or whatever. So
right.
Like I said, it's hard for us to imagine. I mean, we can see it like in China, they have what's called the social credit system.
Yeah.
So, if you say something wrong on social media, you lose a couple of credit points. And then if you lose too much credit, you're not able to go on to the train or buy tickets, things like that.
It's crazy.
So all that could be tied into money where, you said something wrong. Bing, we ding your account. Like,
right. But that's where I got my what I said about the crosswalk thing. That's what they do in China there too. You know what I mean? If you jaywalk, they're putting your name on a board and all that stuff. It's really crazy. Do you